Good clap.
Yeah.
Nice and loud. Good to see you again, JP. It's
Yes,
been a while.
you too, Dan. And how are you?
Yeah, good mate. Out. So how have things been going?
Yes, it's good. Things have gone crazy of late, as you know. Lots going on in the housing market. People with lots of questions to ask. So, good morning to everybody. What's the date today? 19th is it today? 19th of March at the Leeds office in Adel. The sun's shining. Not too long before we all start to go play out again and have a restaurant and a meal.
Good stuff. So we'll get straight to it. The
Yeah.
housing market. Everyone's interested. How do you see it going forward now?
Okay. Right, at the moment, everything's fetching phenomenal money. Asking prices are being offered for everything that's going. Very good market, mainly due to the stamp duty holiday. Interest rates have never been so low. And then this will continue short term, and then eventually it will slow down. Obviously, we've got furlough coming to an end, the stamp duty coming to an end.
Yeah. And then what do you think are the bank's long-term views then on this?
Good question. Banks are very obviously cautious. They will always adjust their belts. Today they're asking loads and loads of questions for mortgage lending. Have you been furloughed? If so, how long? They want to write to your company. A lot of questions being asked. Typical banks, extremely cautious.
That's fine. And how do you see the public view on housing?
Public view, everybody wants to get a property at the moment. You know, the property market will always go in two things, cycles and bubbles. That will always go throughout the UK. Next door to the Leeds office here, there's a £2 million extension going on at the co-op. So that there's always going to be cycles and bubbles going with the housing market. The public want to get on, but long-term people obviously been renting for a long time.
Thanks for that, JP. And what are your views on COVID?
Great question. Obviously, COVID has killed the whole world. You know, the UK has been stopped. A lot of deaths. You know, we're still not out the woods yet. I mean, I'm going for my jab next week. They're calling the 18 to 24-year-olds up, so I'm going up for that, being 18. No, I've had my jab, but yeah, COVID in general, it's obviously stopped the UK big time. You know, and it's cost a lot of money. So talking about COVID, we've got furlough, we've got bounce back loans, we've got CBL loans, we've got mortgage payment holidays, all this phenomenal money that the government has pumped in to the public. And the reason it's done that is because we've had the money. We haven't given all that money to the EU. We've got that money and it's been pumped in.
No, thanks for that. And then what are your views on the UK going out of the EU now?
Good question. Now that we're out of the EU, this is early days yet. We've got to start trading and getting on with the EU and making money. More so, we've got to get our economy going. But there's a long way to go yet, because the UK going forward will not be run the same as it used to be anymore. Lots of decision makings to do. We're not in the EU, so we've got to get trading again and be working with all these countries long term.
Yeah, and so the government has chucked a ton of support to help businesses and people. So what are your views on the bounce back loans, the CBIL loans, furlough and grant payments?
It's debt. Simple as that. It's debt. We've got all these people sat now waiting with the money in the banks. Do they buy now? Do they wait? All this money's set about to go. So it's debt, and it's going to have to be repaid back. So yes, it's helped everybody out. We've had restaurants stopped, gym membership stops, you can't go to the pictures. The only thing that's been going and kept going is the housing market. Why? Because there's over 1 million people involved in it. Sparkies, plumbers, builders, developers, banks. They've got to keep that cycle going. And all this money is now pumped into our economy, sat in people's banks, but it's got to be paid back.
That's it. Thanks for that, JP. And so the next question, the dreaded question, is the crash still coming? Is it good to buy now? Where and how is all this debt going to be repaid?
Great
Because it's got to be
question.
repaid, hasn't it?
Yeah, there will be a slowdown. There won't be a crash as such, I don't think so. I can't see a crash happening. I can see a slowdown happening, but not a crash as such. Mainly because of all this money that's sat about. Now, with regards to, so what's your question again? That last question.
It was how is the UK debt going to be repaid?
Yeah.
And is it good to buy now or wait?
Right, great question. Either or, the market will continue to go because there's millions and millions of pounds in people's banks. We've now got first-time buyers, 95% mortgages available coming in April. Accord Mortgages have already launched their 95% mortgage. It's out now at 3.99%. But get this, first-time buyers, you've got to have a squeaky clean credit history to get that 95% mortgage. If you've got money for the deposit borrowed, it's got to come from family, mum and dad, brother, sister, auntie, uncle, not your mate next door. So 95% mortgage available. So the first-time buyers will keep the economy going as we repair. Now, due to the question he said earlier about who will pay this money back, this debt back, let me show you now.
She's gonna do it. She is gonna do it. Come on. Come on, princess.
That's who will pay the debt back. My grandkids, your grandkids. That's who's going to pay all this money back going forward. My grandkids and your grandkids.
That's it. So it's going to be probably a tough time for the next generation then maybe.
It is going to be a tough
with
time.
Taxes.
There's always going to be opportunities in the housing market in the UK because there's always going to be a shortage of properties. The banks will make their decision, but end of the day, unemployment will come, inflation will go up and down. There's always going to be property.
So yeah, thanks for that, JP. And another big question, as you know, at the moment the housing market is on fire and prices at auctions are going crazy above the guide price. Is it all about comparables? What is the case now?
Well, comparables are really at the minute really out of the water because of everything fetching top money. That's all down to the government giving obviously stamp duty, holiday, rates being so low, and the demand is so high. So it's hard for a value to go out and comparable. But the estate agents, are putting these houses at top money, and they're demanding asking prices and over. But it's all about what the man from the bank values that property at, subject to a satisfactory valuation. My job is to line all your ducks up, sort your money out, and that's what people need to do. Speak to a broker first. Don't go and start looking at properties and putting offers in before you start. Come and talk to me, and I'll sort you out.
Thanks for that, JP. And so for a first-time buyer, what deposits required and what rates are there?
Right, first-time buyer, you can have a 5% deposit. The rate with Accord mortgages at the moment is 3.99%. There's a few more out there. The rates are between the threes, and the new government scheme's got to come out. Yeah, I think April the 12th is coming out, and their rates will come also. But there's going to be long term. I think that the first-time buyers will be propping the housing market up.
Yeah, and so just a last one from me personally, with the eviction ban coming to an end, I think pretty soon. What do you think landlords are going to be throwing tenants out because of the arrears that they've built up, or what's your
Great question?
Are they going to be selling their portfolios to get rid of it? What's your situation? What's your view on that?
Right, good question. With landlords now having this Section 24 imposed on them and they're having to pay up with extra tax, it's not as much fun anymore of making money in the buy-to-let limited company market. So there'll be a lot of landlords putting their houses on the market. They won't put up with tenants. So yes, there'll be a lot of more properties coming onto the market, and there'll be a new cycle and a new bubble of people buying them properties. So in general, I don't particularly see a crash. I see a slowdown. There's always going to be houses bought. We're doing about between 8 and 10 mortgages a week at the moment. That's from first-time buyers to buy-to-let to limited companies. And most people that come through my door have some kind of issue. It could be 1 year's accounts, it could be bad debt, it could be bad debt 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, all sorts of different things. And then they might be on a probationary period, they might be just coming off furlough. There's all these things. So when people come through my door, they've always got issues. And my job is, because I've got all the banks and billing cycles in one computer updated daily, is to sort them issues out.
Yeah, no, thanks for that, HB. So just to wrap up then, if you want to get in contact with you,
certainly.
What's the details?
Sorry, jp-mortgages.co.uk. Go to the website, look at the testimonials, let my clients tell you about. Sorry, that's my new ringtone. It's like the clowns. It's like I didn't even know. So apologies for that.
So JP, just to wrap up, how do we get in contact with you?
Yes, go straight to the website, jp-mortgages.co.uk. Go to the testimonials Let my clients tell you about me and how I work. I get stuck in, I do it right. Mobile phone 077 900 27038. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you, JP.